On November 29, 1947, the kings of the nations united to issue a decree to restore and rebuild Jerusalem, fulfilling Daniel 9:25. This is one of the most significant prophetic events of our lifetime. 65 years, 3 months, and 20 days later, the Antichrist spirit stood in Israel and confirmed the covenant with Israel, fulfilling Daniel 9:27. There is no mistake about this fulfillment in that he called the alliance eternal. The date of this fulfillment was March 20th, 2013. 50 months and 5 days later, after already completing 2 terms as the American president, in the midst of a 7-year period, the same Antichrist spirit fulfilled more of Daniel 9:27 when he caused the sacrifice and offerings to cease. That took place on May 25th, 2017, and is the subject of this video. In this video, we're going to look at an event that occurred on May 25th, 2017. It may be one of the most mysterious and spiritual events of our lifetime. To understand it will require a little background. So, I would like to take you up above the clouds and look down on humanity from a bird's eye view, and see that from the beginning of time, God has been revealing his glory through a nation called Israel. But Israel did not fully receive the message, and so their hearts were somewhat hard, and there's been a partial hardening of Israel. Consider what the scriptures say in Romans 11:25. For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in your own conceits, that blindness in part is happened to Israel, until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. So for the last, say, 2,000 years, the glory of the Lord has bypassed Israel to some extent and has gone out to the Gentiles. But that all began to change in 1947, on November 29th, when the kings of the earth issued a decree to restore and rebuild Jerusalem. So now consider that there are actually 2 congregations on the earth, the Gentiles and Israel. And both of these congregations are very important to God's adversary, Satan. Consider with me what it says in Isaiah 14:13 concerning Satan, where Satan states, I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation. So can you see the significance of the previous events that we have reviewed? 1, on March 20th, 2013, And then, about 3.5 years later, on May 25th, 2017, he sat in the congregation of the Gentiles at the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin, Germany. Do you know what he did there? So let's take a closer look at Daniel 9:27. So Daniel 9:27 states, "And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease." What does this mean? Well, to understand it, we need to pay attention to what the scriptures say in Romans 12:1, which says, "I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service of worship." The sacrifice spoken of in Daniel 9:27 is a human sacrifice, holy and pleasing and acceptable to God. And 1 Peter 2:5 states, "Ye also, as living stones, are built up a spiritual house, a holy priesthood, to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God by Jesus Christ." Now, going back to Daniel, do you realize that there are actually multiple references to the sacrifice and offering? Daniel 9:27, Daniel 11:31, Daniel 12:11, Daniel 8:11, Daniel 8:12, Daniel 8:13. And that it is referred to in the scripture as the daily, something that happens perpetually. And not only that, there are multiple words used for what actually happened on May 25th, 2017. It says that the daily sacrifice was taken away. It was cast down. It was caused to cease and be trodden underfoot. So what actually happened to the daily sacrifice of the Protestants, who were the representation of the Gentile believers on the earth? In essence, the events of May 25th, 2017 marked the fullness of the Gentiles and the heart of God turning his focus back to Israel to express his glory in the hearts of Israel. So the Antichrist is producing a number of lying wonders. 1 with Israel, and 2 with the Gentiles, so that he may sit in the midst of the congregation. In the next week, we're going to look at the fact that the eternal covenant only lasted a 7-year period. It is quite remarkable, actually, that on March 20th, 2020, 7 years to the date of the eternal covenant, it was over.